Right now? How many students on all? Let's see the status. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the live session of business forecasting. This is the last live session for the course. And today we'll have some doubt clearing session. If you have any doubt, query for the exam or for the course, for the topic, you can ask us. We are here to respond to that. Before I proceed for the question and answer session, I'd like to inform you that perhaps you need to submit minimum 5 assignments to qualify for the grades. So make sure that you submit 5 assignments. The last assignments perhaps in this week, make sure you submit that assignment at least so that you reach 5. In case you missed 1 or 2, you should complete the 5 assignment submission. And the last one you should submit so that it should count your total to 5. And now for the question and the pattern of the end sem exam, we'll discuss later. Let's few more students to join, and then we'll discuss the detail about this particular question pattern. All will be MCQ type. You might require calculator, which will be provided. I'll tell about some important questions also, the pattern of the questions also. But before I proceed to that, just to inform you that all questions, there will be 50 questions and all will be MCQ, 100 marks question. And most of the questions will be based on the assignments that you have solved, the assignments that we have given, the assignments that are linked to different chapters. So if you can address the assignments effectively, certain weightage is already there for the assignment submission, and the remaining weightage, I think 40, 60 or what? 30 and 70. So, 30 marks you will get from the assignments only if you submit assignments in time. At the same time, the question pattern for the exam are also based on the assignments only. So majority of the questions will come, certain weightage are there, the weightage distribution you can check. As it is, questions will come from the assignments. Few questions will be changed little bit, the information, but the pattern will be based on assignments only. So from there also you can, get couple of hint of your questions, and couple of very easy questions will be there based on your fundamental knowledge, and then enter question are prepared, MCQ questions are prepared accordingly. Questions are quite easy, doable. If you can go through the concept of each chapters, you'll be able to address all the questions. And then negative marking there? No, there is no negative marking. So make sure you don't miss any question. And there are a couple of query from some candidates. So I'll clarify that. Then I'll come back if you have any questions or doubt, etc. Like Mamta has raised couple of questions. So let's go through all these questions. So first question is that there are few more questions Mamta has put now also. Earlier also there are a couple of questions that what is the difference, if I remember, what is the difference between before that there are a few more questions. What is the difference between exponential moving average and exponential smoothing method? So in moving average concept, there are 3 concepts. One is a 3 model in moving average, time series data with moving average concepts. One is the simple moving average. The second is the weighted moving average, and third is the exponential moving average. The limit of that data is that the moving average concept is that it take a cluster of data, say 7 weeks, if you take a 7 period data in your moving average process, so whatever the method you follow, it will take care only the 7 weeks or 7 period in any iteration. So it will not go beyond 7 period. if you take monthly data and if you take a say quarter-wise average, so if you take last 3 quarter data and average of that as a prediction, so in exponential smoothing also, moving average also, you'll have the 3 months data or 1 quarter basis. So 1 month will be out and 1 month will be added to your moving average process. When it comes to the exponential moving average, you have to define the initial value of weight of your first immediate past period that you have. You have to assign the weight, that alpha value, you have to assign the weight to that. And that alpha is like 2 by 1 plus n, based on the number of period you are considering in a cluster. So based on the 2 by 1 plus n, you will get the weightage to the immediate period. Once you find the weightage for the immediate period in exponential moving average, which is nothing but 2 by 1 plus n, n is the number of period you are considering in a cluster. If you take 7 period in your cluster of moving average, then in exponential moving average, the weightage will be, the immediate period weightage will be 2 by 1 plus 7, 2 by 8. That weightage will be given to the immediate period in any iteration of your exponential moving. Rest of the weightage out of 100, rest of the weightage will be distributed exponentially to the older data. This is what the exponential moving average, which is being used in say, stock market prediction and many other application area, where you are thinking that your immediate past period has the maximum weight, and that weightage will be 2 by 1 plus n, where n is the number of cluster of your data, number of period of your data cluster. That's it. And then you distribute the remaining weights in an exponential manner, which will be followed down in a decay manner to the older data. But it will be restricted to your 7 period. If 7 period is your average, if it is 100 days average, then it will be 100 remaining 100 periods, 99 period will be added to the data, and the weightage will be distributed accordingly in exponential manner. But when it comes to the exponential smoothing method, here alpha you don't assign, alpha will be determined by the system. In Excel calculation, I have shown you alpha, the weightage to the immediate period. Here also the weightage will be distributed accordingly in an exponential decay manner. The first weightage will be alpha, immediate past period weightage will be alpha, and the remaining periods weightage will be distributed in an exponential manner. Therefore, it is exponential smoothing. And here your data are not been deleted. If you start your model from say 5th period, so first 4 period theoretically, first 4 period will be added to your smoothing process. And then when you go to the 6th period, the 5th period will be added. When you go to the 7th period will be added. Older period are not been deleted. But in moving average, you delete the older period, your cluster will remain. So if it is 7 period, cluster will remain as a 7 period. But in exponential smoothing method, all the older data, theoretically, all the older data will be added to the system, will remain there. Only new data will be added. Only one extra period will be added every time, and you drag the chain. That's it. This is what the exponential smoothing model. And here the alpha value, here also the weightage will be distributed exponentially in a decay manner, but highest weightage will be given to the immediate period, which is alpha. The next period weightage will be alpha into 1 minus alpha, and that way it will be distributed. But here alpha you don't decide. Alpha will be decided by the software, by the system, by the Excel. System will optimize the value of alpha based on the range of alpha and the data pattern calculation process, the weighted combination of the forecast and the actual value of the previous period. And if you drag that, you will get the exponential smoothing forecast. But make sure here alpha are being optimized by the system, not by you. In moving average, you decide the alpha value, which is nothing but 2 by 1 plus n. These are the basic difference between the two methods. And in both cases, for example, exponential smoothing model, this is suitable only for stationary data. For non-stationary data, it is not that great. To some extent, it is okay. Because you are giving importance to the immediate period. So it takes the trend, but it is good, but not the best. You have the Holt model, which takes care of the trend part effectively. So if you compare the exponential smoothing model with the Holt method or double exponential smoothing model, in that case, that model will give you the better perfection, better prediction with better accuracy than the exponential smoothing model. But everybody has a merit according to the data patterns. If the data are to some extent steady, you can take the exponential smoothing also. The next question was there that can both be applied to the same situations? Yeah, both can be applied to the same situations, because both to some extent both takes care of steady data. So both can be applied. But here the method is moving average. Here it is exponential smoothing. Here you are defining the moving average, you are defining the weights based on the exponential decay. Here you are defining the weight based on the optimization. That's it. Both can be applied, but you check whoever giving the less error, that MAD or MAP or R value, like RMSE, whoever will give the less error, you select that model. In both the situations, the results will be good. Only thing is that whoever will give the less error, or percentage of error, you select that model as the recommended model. Now, what is the questions? Will Excel based questions also be asked in the exam? Yes, because in tutorial session, there are so many Excel's calculations are being shown. In the exam, you don't need to use Excel, but you practice the questions that we have given in that class or in assignments. You practice that in Excel, understand the models in Excel. But when you go to the exam, you don't need to take the preparation for Excel. Like, you don't need to bring the Excel, or you don't need to be afraid about the Excel. Questions will be fundamental. Maybe maximum you need to use the computer-based calculator to get some calculation. Otherwise, Excel is not required for the exam. I repeat, Excel is not required for the exam. It will be more on the fundamental or conceptual. If you can use the pen paper, it is sufficient. White paper and the pen sufficient to do the calculation. If there is a requirement of 1 or 2 steps, it is sufficient to do the calculation in Excel or sorry, in calculator or white paper. That's it. You don't need Excel in the exam, but you need to practice all them in Excel at the home for all the assignments and the questions that you have discussed in the classes. Make sure that you understand the concept. Then only you can be more confident in the exam to address the questions. Most of the questions will be fundamental and few very basic numerical, which you don't require Excel. Next question. It would be great if we can brief applicable. Now the applications of different concepts. Since we have covered around 12, more than 1 dozen models, more than that, I have already discussed in different session, different classes. I have already discussed examples. In every session, we have given examples, the applications concepts. For example, say, as I said, if you take say name method, basic name method, if you start with the name method, you can understand that, it does not make any calculations. Whatever has happened in the previous period, it takes care of the same concept and that predict the future. So, you can compare the gold price, forex price for the tomorrow's gold price with the, this particular closing price of today gold price. So this way you can apply, or even what happened to previous quarter of your earning of a company. That can be considered as a benchmark reference for through name method. You don't do any calculations. You can make a prediction that last year quarter and last corresponding quarter, the prediction, the EBITDA or the revenue are like this much, or PAT is this much. So next year it could be same or maybe higher than that. So that is a benchmark references. You can apply name method there, or because it's a takes the same concepts in a reference process. Now, if you think about the moving average, I have given examples. Moving average is very popular everywhere. When data are steady, you can use moving average. Like in stock market, people use exponential smoothing for all data prediction, stock price prediction, etc. They use the 50 days moving average, 100 days moving average, 20 days moving average, 200 days moving average. I've also explained that all these things in say classes also. If you go to screener, and the screener, if you open, for example, if you go to screener, let me open here, you'll get to know if the net is available here. I can show you, for example, will the students be able to see the, they won't be able to see? Okay, anyway, leave it then. So can the students see my screen if I do something? No, only discussion. It's okay. Where I can share? Enter screen, you do the enter screen. And now they can see this, right? Okay. So here, if you see, so this is the, for example, this is the stock price movement of say Bajaj Finance. I have opened the screener. And if you look at that, the Bajaj Finance company, NBFC company, very branded company. Suppose you want to study that the application of moving average in some application area. Here you can see, suppose this is a Bajaj Finance company. The stock price is mentioned here. I have gone to the screener website, and you can see the movement of the stock price of last 1 year. Last April to this April and May, you can see how the stock price is moving, right? Now, if you want to see the 50 days average, moving average, look at that. Look at the 50 days graph of 50 days moving average. This is what? This is the last 50 days data they have taken. Suppose you are here. Suppose you are here. So they have taken last 50 days data, the blue line data, and they have taken the average of the data, and they predicted the graph. And then you can go forward, your graph will also move forward because it's a 50 days moving average. So in your cluster, you are taking 50 days, and you are predicting the line. This is what the application, but this is exponential moving average. I told in the class also, simple moving average and weighted moving average, they don't consider. They consider exponential moving average, where the alpha value will be immediate period weightage will be 2 by 1 plus n, where n is 50 here. So make sure that you have the data and you use exponential moving average here. Though they have not mentioned here moving exponential part, but I know it is an exponential moving average formula, but it is a DMA, means day moving average. Similarly, if you want to check the 200 days moving average, look at the graph of 200, the black one, the 200 days moving average. This is exponential moving application of exponential moving average. And you can see the movement of the graph and application, how it can be used in practice. Now, let us stop this. Now, if you come back to the other application area, like exponential method, I have already told you the data are steady, you can use exponential smoothing also. But the better application of that concept is the double exponential smoothing, which is Holt model. Holt model is very good if the data has an uptrend or downtrend. In that case, Holt model or double exponential smoothing are very popular. You can apply that concept in any application area where the data is uptrend or downtrend. You can use, like, Indian GDP is increasing, right? Every quarter basis, or to some extent, growth is steady, but GDP valuation is increasing. So you can use the Holt model. You can get a better prediction than the moving average there. The predictions will be much better. In another applications, you can think about, say, multiplicative decomposition method. I have some, there is a question, I'll explain that also. This takes care of the seasonality and trend together. If the data has a trend, you can use the Holt model. If the data has a, seasonal pattern at the same time uptrend, seasonal pattern plus uptrend. Suppose sales is increasing, but sales follow, say, what seasonal pattern. So in December, sale is high, but in June, sale is low. For AC machine, for example, for AC, say if you go to Blue Star or Daikin, or say Samsung, LG, Voltas, you go now. If you go to the shopping mall, you will see the stores. You will see too much of sales are happening for the AC machines. There will be a waiting list. You may not find your preferred model because too much of demand are there. Everybody want to install AC. They want to buy the AC. So in summer, the sales of AC will be high. Correct. But if you go to winter, you'll see the sales of AC for all the companies, sales will be down. But if you go to the next year, you will see next summer, the sales of summer, next year summer will be higher than this year summer. Next year winter sales will be higher than this year winter sale. What does it mean? It means that the sales are following year on year, yearly basis. Seasonality. That means in summer it is high, in winter it is low. But year on year, the sales are increasing. In summer also sales are increasing. Winter also sales are increasing. But when you compare quarter to quarter basis, or say season to season basis, it is down. But effectively for a longer period, you can see the seasonality pattern is also there, uptrend is also there. So when there is a seasonality and uptrend, use the decomposition method, or say Winter-Holt method. Both I have explained in the class. Both methods are there. This is the concept. If you know this concept, you will be able to address the questions in the exam. That's it. Now, if you think about, say, simple seasonality, I have already calculated the average, quarterly average method of seasonality. You can apply that also, simple seasonality analysis of Indian data, of any company sales data. Now, if you go to time series ARIMA models, it is very popular. For short-term prediction, long-term predictions, when the data fluctuation happens very frequently, very quickly, you can use the ARIMA models where non-stationarity can also be taken into account by doing the differentiation, or integrated process, as I mentioned, like convert the non-stationary data into stationary and use the through decoupleur test I have explained, and then you can apply the ARIMA model, AR model, MA model, ARMA model, and you can get the prediction, very strong predictions for crude oil price, for air quality, for even airline sales. Everywhere you can apply actually. ARIMA model is very popular. Super model you can think about the time series data. Regression is very popular, where there is a correlation between the independent data and a dependent variable. You can use the regression analysis and you can make a forecast. So these are the couple of applications. Everywhere you can use their concepts. Go through all the models and the videos you can see. You will see the clarity in the beginning of the every class. I have given the practical examples and then industrial examples. And at the end, I have explained them using Excel with the numerical data. So you can for every sessions you have a package. You don't have to read anything else. For every session, every model, you go to that particular module, you'll understand the details about the model with examples, with the Excel illustration, the calculation process, and the concept. Now, next question. What type of questions will be asked in the examination on 26th? Very big question, but let us discuss that now, because this is very important and students are waiting for that. I'll come to individual questions for everybody also, but let us focus on that part, major important part. Questions, again, I repeat, I have already informed in the beginning today. Now I'm repeating that questions will be all MCQ. 50 questions will be there. There will be no negative marking, and majority will be based on the assignments. Few questions as per some weightage calculation are there. Like, you can go through their websites, NPTEL website, you'll get to know how much percentage we can take directly from the previous assignments. So if you submit minimum 5 assignment in time, last assignment is still due, perhaps you can submit today, tomorrow, or whatever the last date. And if you go through all the assignments and you understand the assignments, if you practice all the assignments, if you remember all the answer of the assignments, everybody will get the pass mark. Because same to same question, certain weightage of there, same to same question we have put in the answer. Next, few questions, say 30% are the same, say. And the remaining, the weightage are there. Accordingly, we have followed 50, 30, 30, I think 50, 30, 20 kind of thing. So 20 is new, 50 is almost same, and the remaining 30 could be, say, little modification with the changes of the data, information, little modification are being given, and the similar questions pattern. Similarity is also there. Similar question pattern has been put. And maybe 20% could be completely new than the assignments, and they are very basic, very fundamental. So effectively, if somebody come with a good preparation with the basic concepts and they solve the assignments, they may get more than 80% easily. And 40% of the requirement for the pass marks. So if you can complete only the assignments effectively, you will get the pass mark. Everybody will get the certificate. Nobody will get the fail. But make sure you submit the 5 assignments, because that is not in your hand, that is not in my hand. System already can check whether you have submitted 5 assignments or not. If not, quickly submit the assignments. And this is the question pattern, all are basic. You don't have to require the Excel. Just the concept and the calculator and the pen, white paper are there. Few will be numerical. 10-15% will be numerical, 50-20%. Rest all are conceptual only. And the numerical are also very basic. After 1 or 2 steps of the basic idea, if you can use, you will get the numerical value, and that value has been given here. You just tick it. Next. Multiplicative, please explain the multiplicative decomposition calculation of CMA for monthly data. Okay. When you have a monthly data and you want to use multiplicative decomposition method, let me clarify that multiplicative decomposition method is used only if the data are seasonal, data has a trend. If the data has both seasonal and trend, then multiplicative decomposition method are used. So understand whether data has a seasonality or not. If data has only seasonality, you don't have to use multiplicative decomposition method. You can simply use quarterly average process of seasonality. In case the data has a trend, but no seasonality, you can use Holt method. If the data has both seasonality and trend, you can use Winter method or multiplicative decomposition method. Now, center moving average is one option. You can skip that also. You can simply follow the average and put all the data, all the monthly data or quarterly data. Here you have asked monthly data, say, put all the year's monthly data in a series and then calculate their index, the monthly base month-wise index for every month. Right. I told that you can calculate using basic simple quarter average method. You can calculate the index for them and then divide the data by the index. You will get the decentralized data. So if there is a down in the sale, once you divide the index will be, if the sales of January is down, if the sales of January for every year is down, the index of January will be less than 1. Say maybe 0.8, 0.7, 20% down sale. Every year, January sale on an average sales, if you compare January sales with the average sales of that all the months, suppose it is 20% down from the average sales of the year, month basis. In that case, the weightage of January will be 80%. So if you divide the January data, actual data by 0.8, your January value will go up. Similarly, if in a particular quarter or particular month, if the sales is high always, suppose September sales are high. In that case, if you divide the September data by the index of September, sales high means weightage will be more than 1. So September data, if you divide the September data by say 1.2, 1.3, because 20-30% extra sales are happening in January, September, you divide the data by September index, what happens now? September data will come down. So you'll get a steady data, which is called decentralized data. That data you use in regression, you get the forecast, or even simple time series, whatever you use, you get a forecast. That forecast again you multiply with your your seasonal index, you'll get the forecast for the forthcoming year. That's it. This is the multiplicative decomposition method. I repeat again. You take the data, all the monthly data you put in a series, in x-axis, or in say a column A. You put all the monthly data in a series, in a sequence. And then you calculate the index. That index you can calculate either using center moving average process, or you can use simple quarterly average method. If you use center moving average, what happens? If it is a quarterly data, then you take 4 quarters and then take their average, and then you get the index. If you take say monthly data, then you take 12 months data, and then you take their average. So how to select that I have already explained in the session. You can check one period ahead and one period last, and you take the 12 period data, you take the average, and you drag that. You will get the index for that, and then you check whether it is having, like, for a particular month, if you have a good amount of data for 3-4 years, for January you might get 2-3 index, for February you might get 2-3 index. So in that case, once you get the index, you take the average of that index, you will get the final index for each month. This is what a center moving average. Otherwise, you can go simply quarterly average and get the index. Just calculate the index. Once you get the index, throw center moving average or throw simple quarterly average method. You calculate the index for each month, and then you divide each month by the index. You will get the decentralized data. Say the cylinder format data. The up down will be reduced. You get the decentralized data. Forecast them using regression line, where monthly data will be your x-axis, month representative will be your x-axis, month will be represented as x-axis, and y-axis is the new decentralized data. Decentralized, not the actual data, but because you have divided all the data by the index, and then you make the forecast using regression analysis, y equals to mx plus c. And that data is your new forecast, but decentralized forecast. Again, you multiply that with your index, you will get the actual zigzag pattern. That is how the simple decomposition method. Next question. Week 5, assignment 7. Okay, what is that? Winter-Holt model answer I am not able to calculate. Please explain. So here, only the concept I can explain. Winter-Holt method has 3 components. Understand the concept, then only you will be able to see the calculation, because I have shared the Excel. In Winter-Holt method, you have 3 components. One is the basic level, another is the trend, and the second component is the trend, third component is the seasonal index. In Holt model, you have only 2 index, double exponential smoothing. What is that? The base value, the level value, and the index value. So I mean trend value. So trend will be added, the new trend will be added with your base value, and like stairs you go up, your actual prediction in uptrend or downtrend will occur. This is what the Holt model. In Winter-Holt, what happens? You add one more component, so base model, base value, and then trend portion, and the zigzag pattern, like up-down pattern. That up-down pattern are being represented by the seasonal index. So there are 3 index for 3 parameter for them: alpha, beta, gamma. Alpha stands for base level value, base value improvement, and beta stands for trend improvement, and gamma stands for seasonality improvement. So these 3 put together, you will get 3 formula: level formula, then trend formula, and then seasonality formula. At the end, again you add basic level, basic trend multiplied by index, seasonality index. You will get the forecast. drag it, got the model, Winter-Holt model. Same logic I have explained in Excel. You can go to the Excel and understand the formula. I am repeating again. Here you will have a three aspects in Winter-Holt model. The base level formula, which is been carried forward for the Holt model. The trend formula, which is been carried forward from the Holt model. You are adding one more component that is called the index, seasonality index, that you are adding. So how to adjust the seasonality index? In base model, in Holt model, you take the as it is Y value. Here you have to divide the index, like the decomposition I have explained. Here you have to divide the actual data by index. That will be your base data. Actual value by index. Then that will be considered as a label, initial value of your, base value of your label. And then you take the weighted combination alpha into base plus like Y by weight, the seasonal index, plus 1 minus alpha into the forecast value, label plus trend. And then that will be a label value, initial label plus trend. That will be label value. And the trend is all beta into label gap plus 1 minus beta into trend, previous trend. That weightage is your trend. And for gamma, it is nothing but again the previous value of your label and the current label by trend, label by your weightage, seasonal weightage, that combination is gamma into this plus 1 minus gamma into this. That will calculate your seasonal variation of your data. That is being represented by the third component that is called the index calculation, seasonality calculations, seasonality index. These three together, final results will be label plus trend, the intermediate label plus trend multiplied by the index, seasonal index. Drag it. You will get the Holt model. Go to the Excel, understand the calculation process. What I have told now, same thing is been explained and detailed in Excel with the calculation in step-by-step calculation also. This is what the Holt model. Where to apply Holt model is a Winter method. Where to apply Winter-Holt model? It is a same like decomposition method. In Winter-Holt model, you have to do so many calculations. You have to remember the formulas. In decomposition method, it is easy steps, which is alternative to Winter-Holt. But both model predicts the same results. Both model has the same insights, that it takes care of the trend and seasonality put together. Next, what is the ideal number of years required for forecasting time series data? Minimum 5-6 quarter is required, 5-6 months or the years required to get a better forecast. Even if you have 3-4 months also, you can predict based on the trend. 3-4 years. If you have 3-4 years, many companies' data are not available more than 3-4 years. So sufficient. You take that data and carry forward. If you have a monthly data, maybe 10-12 months are sufficient. If you have if you want to capture many years monthly basis, then you require more data. 36 months. Otherwise, you won't get much data. If you get a good amount of data, it will be better to make a better forecast. But minimum 6-7 months or past period are required to get a better prediction. Otherwise, you may not get the actual pattern of the data. Yeah, if a business has opted just for 1 year, can that be used? Yes, you can put that as a 1 year. If you have 1 year data only, you can put that as your base value, like name method. You can use the name concept. The last year it is happened like this. This year it could be say 10% up down like this. You are predicting. You are not calculating anything. You are just as it is. You are referring that the last year sales were like this, or you have only the new company, startup company. Last year sales are like this, and it could be like this. Unless our revenue increases or the new order comes. And after a couple of years, you will get a trend that what is happening. And accordingly, you can make a prediction of your model. Next question. Important question. Sir, please tell some important questions. Let me tell you, questions are based on basic concept of each model. Like what is data-driven decision making? What are the qualitative aspects models are there? In Delphi method, what do we do? In say moving average process, how the exponential moving average, how the weightage are being calculated. Or say, if you have a data, couple of data, you would say weighted moving average, weightage will be given to you, calculate the value, for example, say. Or suppose, you have a say, data and the data is following, say, suppose steady, say stationary. And you want to use ARMA model. So you need AR model, MA model. You can calculate the ARMA model. You can understand the concept and you can apply it. When to use AR model? If say, SCF or PSCF are being given to you Can you select which model it is suitable for AR model, when it is suitable for AR model, when it is suitable for MA model. So you know that, right? When to select AR model? Tell me when to, like, you understand that, right? When to select the AR model of ARIMA, AR model, autoregressive models. When your SCF are exponential decay and PSCF has a cutoff. SCF graph, autocorrelation function with the same data, I have already explained in that. If the SCF graph, many questions will come from this topic, ARIMA model, AR model and MA model and ARMA model, and ARIMA also. Let me explain here. You need to understand the SCF and PSCF graph. SCF graph, what? The relationship between your own data with your past data. That is SCF. And then autocorrelation, not the correlation. You know correlation between X and Y. Here, your old data and current data, yesterday and today kind of relationship you are finding through SCF function. That same formula of correlation. But that correlation value are called the autocorrelation, because auto data time series data. Here you don't have independent variable. And you can calculate the SCF graph, the relationship between today and yesterday, relationship between today and day before yesterday, second lag, third lag, 2 days back, 3 days back. So you can plot all the SCF graph in your x-axis and y-axis. You will get the SCF graph. It could be exponential decay. And then if you go to PSCF, PSCF says that interdependency will not be considered. So multicollinearity has to be removed. And then actual impact, because yesterday was someday today. So your past data might have an impact already been calculated. So to remove the impact. So yesterday might have a good impact of today's data, but day before yesterday should not have the proper impact. So little impact will come. So you have to take the actual impact. So that is called partial impact. So partial calculation you have to require the impact, the correlation. So if you see the partial correlation graph of the data of time series data, you will see sudden fall. So when it is fall? So suppose after 2 period, 3 period, 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakh, it is fall. Fault, closer to 0. So cut. So that is your P selection, order selection of your AR model. You have to select the order of your AR model from PSCF graph, not from the SCF graph. Because in SCF graph, actual autocorrelation graph, here interdependency of the past data are involved. But in PSCF graph, interdependency are been removed. So it is actual graph presentation. Because all data, all past lag, past period are represented as independent variable. And their impact you are checking with your current data. From there, you see how many standing line are there. That will be considered as your order selection. From PSCF, you select the order of your AR model. Done. You draw the AR model as a simple regression, auto regression. Go to MA model. Here you take only the error terms. Through the basic model, you can select the errors, any basic model, and use the error term in your actual average data. That is average data plus the error moving average combination of your error term. And that will be a prediction of your model in moving average process, moving average of ARMA model. And then if you confuse to select AR and MA, you go with ARMA model. And in moving average, how to select the order of moving average? You have to go to the ACF graph. You don't have to go to the PSCF, because here the error terms comes through the model. So they are already independent. You don't have to go to PSCF. From ACF directly, you can select the order. Cutoff point will be found over there, sudden fall. And then you select the order of MA model. Done. AR model done, MA model done. And if you put together, you will get ARMA. And if the data are non-stationary, then you come the Decomposition test or kind of differentiation, convert the non-stationary data into stationary, and select the model and make a prediction of that. So from ARIMA model also a couple of questions will come. From basic, uncertainty risk parameter, risk concept also questions may come. Basic simulation, Monte Carlo simulation, 1 or 2 questions may also come. This is what overall question pattern. I suggest for each module, for each week, we have given assignments. Just practice these assignments. I repeat, and I request everybody, please practice the assignments. Go to home, download the questions, and understand all or you might have the questions because you have addressed them as assignments. All the questions for all the week. Don't miss out a single week, because you don't know from which week which questions will come. But questions are already there in the assignments. Go through the assignments effectively, practice them again and again. Either the same questions will come or some modifications will be there. If you practice them, you'll be able to address there. That's it. And the basic concept of the PPTs are there. Next question. What, sir? Yes, majority questions will come from the assignments or the similar type. few questions will be repeated. There is a protocol, there is a guidelines that certain weightage are there from the same questions from the assignments can be added over there. Same to same question have been added. Assignment, same question, correct, right? Same assignment question have been added in the final question paper. So if you can practice the assignments now, you will get full, like minimum pass mark. 40% marks will be clear from there itself. Because certain weightage there are assignment submission also there, and few questions will be come again from the assignment itself. So if you put together, you'll get the pass mark. Then some questions will be the same like assignments, but not the exact data, exact question. Some data maybe in place of 50, I could have put 40. Instead of RAM, I could have put some kind of thing, some modification has been done. That also you'll be able to address if you practice effectively. And few, maybe 10-20% will be new, which are very fundamental because new questions are not difficult at all. Assignments are rather difficult, but other questions that we have put in the questions easier than assignments. So if you can practice the assignments, you will get all clarity of your end sem exam. And there is no negative marking, attempt everything. Please explain the Monte Carlo simulation and it is possible to come in the exam. Yes, Monte Carlo simulation are maybe one or two questions can come from Monte Carlo, so like how to create the scheme of Monte Carlo, discrete event case, and say, for example, how the cumulative are been calculated, how the interval, data interval are being prepared. So based on the scheme, the 5 steps that I have mentioned with the numerical example, you go through and understand that how the data, like say, suppose there is a variable, say one variable has 5 options. So 4 options, option 1, option 2, option 3, option 4. So option 1 may occur, this event may happen with 40% chance. This event may happen with 20% chance. Like this, 40% chance means 14 out of 100 from a bucket of a rand function, 40 number will be allotted to this first event because 40% weightage are there. For second event, say 20%. So 20 numbers from the bucket in a sequence from 0 to 99, 2 digit. If you take 2 digit, then 00 to 99. Make sure you have a 100 number. Not, you cannot take 00 to 100. 00 to 100 means 101 number. And data, the random numbers generation follow uniform distribution. So therefore, and all are equally likely. So therefore, you cannot take 00 to 100. It will take 101 count. Take 00 to 99 or 1 to 100. Both logic same. Total 100 numbers should be there. And from that, you shuffle them based on the weightage probability. 40%, 40 numbers, 20%, 20 numbers, 60 or 60 number I may allotted. Then say 30. So say 20, another 20. Say next third event also 20. So 90% weightage are done. So another 20 number you can assign from the bucket or from the rand function order sequence. The remaining event, maybe last event might have chance of 10%. So another 10 weight number, random number from 0 to 99, we can assign to that. So number assignments are done, and then you create an interval and generate the number and draw the Monte Carlo simulation scheme. That is the concept of Monte Carlo simulation. One or two basic fundamental questions will come, not the big question. Basic fundamental, if you go through a Monte Carlo simulation, 2-3 questions you'll be able to address also. From each chapter questions we have put. Next. What could be the research area in forecasting for writing research paper? Very good. See, the concept of forecasting or basic machine learning that I have explained, ARIMA model I have explained, regression I have explained, right? Holt model I have explained, decomposition I have explained, moving average I have explained. These are the branded model. This is evergreen model. Everywhere in every industry, every research people use it. Whether you take the industry data or you do your research, whether it's a chemical engineering, whether it's a mechanical engineering, whether it's a oil and gas sector, whether it's a social science, whether it's electrical, like water flow, etc. Wherever you go, image processing, you can use forecasting, you can use regression, you can use machine learning, you can use ARIMA model, you can use say supervised learning, unsupervised learning. All are possible, all are popular there. So forecasting is a fundamental concept for forecasting for any company's data or any industrial research. So it is possible to write research paper on that. Take the data for a company, use some model and make a forecast. You can publish in conference or in a large scale journal also if the quality of the document or the paper is data are good and if you have come up with a good forecast. Even there is innovation in your model, you have taken the existing model, but your data gets a good insight, right? Company will get benefit of it. That can also be published somewhere. Possible of being possibility, high possibility that you can use this concept in your research paper. Many people use that concept in the research paper actually. Where we can find the past year papers, that I don't know. You can talk to the NPTEL and get to know whether you are allowed to get the past year's data or not. So for continuous variable Monte Carlo simulation, For discrete variable, it's a random sample interval and prediction. For continuous case, what happens? Your y-axis represent the cumulative value, the probability value. So from there, you generate the rand function from your y-axis between 0 to 1, highest probability 1 and lowest probability 0. From there, you generate a rand function, random number between 0 to 1, 0.5, 0.6, etc. You go back to the cumulative graph. Cumulative graph is drawn on x-axis based on data, x data, independent variable data. So y-axis is represent the cumulative value. From your CDF, PDF, you can get the CDF. And from the inverse function, you have to calculate the inverse function of each variable. If x is following normal distribution or if x is following exponential distribution, you calculate the inverse function of that. In Excel, you type the inverse, normal exponential, inverse triangular, you'll get that. So these formula you have to use, and you put the rand function over there, and corresponding x value will get in x-axis. Rand function in y-axis, which is 0 to 1, cumulative graph, 0 to 1, say 0.5. Corresponding 0.5, you come back to the x from your cumulative graph. This x is a representative of your Monte Carlo simulation for the prediction of your y function or the production planning, whatever you want to apply. That's it. For continuous function, you have to calculate the inverse function of the data, of the parameter. If it is following, suppose your sales is following normal distribution. So the inter-arrival of your data in a shopping mall are coming exponential distribution. So take the data inter-arrival time of a shopping mall of consumers are coming as a exponential distribution, are assumed as exponential distribution. So take the inverse function of exponential distribution. I've explained in the class. And then normal inverse, exponential inverse you take, and then corresponding rand function you generate from y-axis, you will get the corresponding x value. That is the input of your model. Through rand function you generate, through y-axis you generated the rand function, rand number between 0 to 1, which is nothing but the probability range. Corresponding from the graph, you will get back the inverse value of x. That x will go to your function. FX, whatever other production planning, scheduling, machine learning, wherever you want to apply, you can do that. Monte Carlo simulation can be applied everywhere. Supply chain, sales, marketing, everywhere you can use financial data. What is question number 7? Question number 7 seems wrong. We'll check and we'll respond in the discussion forum. I think question number 7 seems wrong. We'll check. Our team will check and they will respond in the discussion forum. If the question number 7 is wrong, they will respond to that. Next. Sir, in ARIMA model, how t+1 value is predicted? Not clear. Effectively, let me tell you, t+1 means what? It is a future prediction. It's a future period. So that t+1 has to be calculated based on your previous period. So previous period is nothing but what? Yesterday. Say today. If today is t, tomorrow is t+1. That's it. If today is yesterday is t, today is t+1. If today is t, tomorrow is t+1. That t+1 you have to calculate from your ARIMA model, say AR model. That is your t+1 is like the all today. All today is t+1. And all yesterday is your t. All day before yesterday is t-1. That is your concept. If you have a data, I think my data are been shared here. Wait, I can again show you. If you go to Excel, if this is A, B, yesterday, and that was today data, right? Today. Suppose your data is say 23, 24, 23, 21, 29, 27, 26, 21 kind of thing. These are the actual data. So you copy them and paste one row below. That is your yesterday. Look at when you are at 20, 24. When you were at 24, 23 was your yesterday. 23 was your yesterday, right? This is what I have shared, right? 23 was your yesterday. Look at the data. When you are 29, 21, this previous day is your yesterday. So these data you consider. Now you take these data sets. Let me put a, bracket. Look at these data sets. Look at this data set now. You delete this data, and delete this data. Last one. What happens? Look at the data now. Here you have, this is suppose your t plus 1. T plus 1, or t say, this is your t minus 1 yesterday. This is your t minus 1. Correct. So now what you do? You consider this as your x. This is all yesterday data. Consider this your x, this data as your y. You go to regression. Go to regression now. Go to regression analysis. Just consider this x, this data x, yesterday x, and this data as y. That is t minus 1 and t. You make the forecast, and t plus 1 you'll get corresponding based on the new data. You'll get the t plus 1 and make a forecast. This is what you have done in regression only, but it is actually auto regression. Because auto data, same data, you don't have independent variable. You have created all yesterday data as your t minus 1. So this is your independent variable, dummy independent variable, and your auto data, you are simply regression you are doing. So therefore, we call it auto regression. This is what AR model. This is what the AR model. Only order 1, because you have taken only yesterday. If you take day before yesterday, like one more data, if you copy the data, and if you paste from one row below, and if you take this data, so you have two independent variable now, t minus 2. Because you are taking day before yesterday data. These are day before. If you are here today, yesterday, day before yesterday. So you'll have a order 2, AR model of order 2 then. This is what the concept of AR model. Similarly, MA model, moving over with the error term, you can calculate with the mean data. I've already explained everything. This is what the ARIMA model. And t plus 1, t minus 1, all these things you'll get to know. Go through the Excel and the calculation process, you'll get to know. Next question. Yeah. If there are further comments from your side of the doubt query, you can go to the discussion forum and you can put your comments over there. We'll try to address. If the questions are limited, not everybody put the questions. Very important questions are there. We'll definitely respond to them. If still you have any doubt. Therefore, we have scheduled the today's session today only, just 2 days before the exam. So that you are ready now with the preparation. You are going through the preparation. And today is the best day for the clarity or the doubt clearing session. So therefore, we have scheduled the session today. And our best wishes to everybody, so that I want everybody to get a good score and everybody get a good grade also. Spend your time for the assignments and understanding the concepts. I'm sure everybody will get a good grade. And best wishes to everyone. Any further comments, queries? Okay. So, still if you have any doubt, query, you can go to the discussion forum and you can raise your comments over there. Our team will respond to you. Otherwise, we have addressed almost all the queries, and best wishes to everyone. Attend the exam, submit the assignments in time, last assignments in time. Make sure you have submitted all 5 assignments and come for the exams. Go through the assignments and the basic classes effectively. Everybody will get the good grades. Thank you. We can wind up the session now. Yeah. Huh? All left. One more question. Wait. Is the course sufficient to build a strong foundation? Yes. Very good question, Ashish. Yes. If you can go through these courses, all the content that I have put in the course, starting from the first week itself, like data-driven decision making, concept, supervised, unsupervised, ARIMA model, regression analysis, time series analysis, different models we have discussed, right? These are the fundamentals of predictive analytics, fundamental of machine learning. The business forecasting is not about machine learning. Machine learning or predictive modeling are required for business forecasting. Because in our session, we have given example from the industry. If you go to the all classes, we'll get to know so many examples from the industry I have given. Today also I have given many examples. So what happens, these concepts, if you know effectively, and the classes, if you go through the courses, if you go through the content, the application area, what happens, you will be ready for the predictive analytics and the machine learning concepts, which is the ground fundamentals and the ground, preparation background for your AI models. Without machine learning, without predictive modeling, you cannot go for AI models. These are very important. So these are the fundamental courses which will be helpful for your future growth in AI and ML and concepts applied in industry. Okay, then no more question. I think it's done now. We can wind up the session. Or we should wait for another 1 minute. Yeah, thank you to everyone. Best wishes for the exam. Huh? Can we check few more questions are coming? Time is up now, but I still we can check. Done ना? Close करो.